On this week's 2-minute tip, how to keep grass from creeping in your garden. So we don't see this problem in the middle of our garden, but on the edges or the perimeter of our garden, we'll see where the grass from the yard starts to form these runners and likes to creep in the garden, and they'll establish themselves and basically become weeds in your garden. Here in the south, it's basically Bermuda grass and centipede grass, which we see forming these runners, climbing in your garden, and they can be really persistent and really hard to get rid of if you don't stay on top of it. So what can you do about this? Well, you could use a gas-powered edger, certainly. You could even use a machete. But I think the best tool is to use the wheel hoe and a couple of the attachments we make to maintain that nice edge on your garden and keep that grass from creeping in there. Our oscillating hoe attachment and our sweeps attachment for the wheel hoe work really great because they have a really sharp blade and they'll go through there and cut those runners out on the edge of your garden. Now you could use these attachments on the single wheel hoe, the double wheel hoe, or even the high arch wheel hoe. Doesn't really matter which one you have. These attachments are going to be effective on all three of those wheel hoe models we have. So if you take a look at our sweeps or our oscillating hoes, you'll notice that they're not just sharp on the bottom of the blade, but they're also sharp around the curve of the blade. And this is a nice feature that allows you to run along the edge of your garden and cut out those weeds and make a nice solid edge on your garden that's going to keep those runners from coming in and eliminate those existing runners. Now if you've just got a few runners and the pressure of the grass coming in the garden is not that high, the sweeps are a great option for you. If you've got some thicker pressure from the grass crawling in the garden, you probably want to go with something like the oscillating hoe just because it's a little bit stronger. You could use the 6-inch oscillating hoe, the 8-inch, or the 12-inch wide version, but I really like the 8-inch oscillating hoe for doing that edging on the perimeter of the garden. So if you've got that grass creeping in your garden, put on that oscillating hoe, put on those sweeps, run along the side of that garden at least once a week. Keep that edge and that perimeter nicely maintained, keep your garden clean, and you'll have beautiful plants as a result. So I hope you enjoyed this week's 2-minute tip. We'll see you next week.